when you first of all when you homeschool, you spend a lot of time with your kids, and it's it's quite an amazing experience for me. I would personally hate to have to rush my time with my kids. I don't want to rush the time. And if you imagine like your typical family in the morning,
Oh, God. Yeah, wake up, blah, 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 spit it out, throw it again.
yep,
And
yep, and then you get that period of time in the evening when you're all tired, right? You're all tired, and it's really a big rush. And so at this moment in time, the best thing for me about the homeschooling is it's not the education part or the freedom part. It's the fact that you're not under pressure to have experiences right now because
mm,
you got the whole day, so things can kind of organically develop. And I really respect and appreciate that opportunity. I really enjoy that element, and I enjoy it because I know that it's not going to be forever like that. There's a period of time where it works, and then things go their own way. Like my son is becoming really independent now. I think maybe in a year or 2 years I will send him to school because I think that that challenge will be greater than this challenge, and
mm-hmm.
that's what he will need. So I think it's important to realize what we can teach and what we don't have the ability to teach, and so we can't let other people be limited by our own limitations, and so that's going to be really important. But it's I say this to myself and not very often to other people, that I say that my son saved my life because it caused me to change direction in a lot of ways, in every way, in fact. And even though I don't think my direction was bad, everything became better.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just a challenge, the challenge of getting to the next level. And I read an article yesterday which was about how if you have children, you become a different person. It's inevitable. You are no longer the same person. You become an entire and there's some studies about women and their the physical experience of having children completely changes psychologically everything for the woman, everything. And and obviously for men who can be empathetic to that, um, it changes everything for the men as well. And I think that I made a lot of better decisions as a result of that, which wouldn't have happened if I hadn't had kids, which is why I say to everybody, have kids. And I know a lot of people who don't have kids, and I'm always telling them, look, if you have kids, it will take you to the next level. And if you don't, I'm not saying it. You can't say to somebody, it's wrong to say to somebody, you'll be a better person if you have kids, because it's out of everybody's control, right? And so there, and it's just um, I don't see any other way that a person can become a better person. I don't see how it is possible any other way to become a better person than to have kids. I don't. It what we're experiencing together is very similar to what you would experience if you had kids before now. It's a strange thing to say, but what we're experiencing together, because the realizations and the revelations that we have through our conversation together are the same things that you would have, the same conclusions that you would have reached yourself through having that internal conversation in your own head, through trying to communicate with your own child. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. I'm pretty sure. I mean, you can't prove it, right? But I'm pretty sure that all I'm doing is putting words in your head that give you opportunities to see things in a different way, which is the same kind of deep internal conversations you would have trying to communicate with a child. Right? It's the same things you would be asking yourself. How can I make his or her life better? How can I improve the quality? What is the right way? Is it this or is it that? What's important? Who am I trying to prove to who? Because a dirty nappy is a dirty nappy, right? Shit smells. What can you do about it, right? It's life, right? And we spend so much time trying to manage ourselves that suddenly when we have to manage somebody else, we realize how unimportant we are to ourselves, but important to the lives of others. And that's an epic realization which causes every person with a heart to stop and think about everything that they're doing. And the reflection that I talked about earlier with spirituality and Christian values and things, that all comes through having kids. Like, what values do I want my kids to have? Well, where do I start? Well, I've got to start with something somewhere. I could start with myself. That's not a very good place to start, right? I'm like, oh shit, I'm a bad example. That's not so cool, right? I got to start with something else. So you start looking around and you start reading more, and you start to explore ideas, and the things that didn't matter much suddenly become like in the past I would be like, yeah, there are people in the world who are fucked up, and now I'm like, there are people in the world who are fucked up who better get their shit together and stay as far fucking away from my kids as possible, otherwise the hammer's going to come down and they're going to regret that they took the wrong path, and I feel sympathy for them, but they're not going to fuck with me and my family. So that's before you're like, tolerance, right? Now I am generally intolerant of the fact that somebody chose to do that. I'm sorry you came from a bad background. I'm sorry that things didn't work out for you. I'm sorry that you were given bad advice. I'm sorry. I want to help with all that stuff, but don't put your shit on my society, right? That's what you built is your place. If you want help, I'm here, but otherwise get out of the way, right? Because the future is about building the future. It's not about managing other people's past. And these things become sharper and clearer instantly. Where there was maybe a question before or an uncertainty, now things have to be clear. They have to be crystal clear now, because they matter more. And we're taught in society, in the world, that we need to be tolerant of people and their differences. I think we need to be respectful of people differences, but I'm not going to tolerate anything which is wrong. We were taught like tolerance is important, but tolerance is not positive if you're erasing yourself through tolerance. We don't. Life is about finding who you are, not losing who you are. And the more we conform to live our lives by other people's rules, the more we moderate our behavior because somebody else is offended by something, the less we are ourselves. So where I was tolerant in the past, I'm now just like, I've got respect, but no. Right? I've got respect, but this is my way, and it matters to me, and it matters to my family, and um, don't infringe on things. And if what I do offends you,
Mm.
then if what I do offends you, then fuck you again, because because you're always going to be offended, and I'm not here to hate on people and things, because life's too short for that.